the show that is unlike any other cigar show, where we have the most eclectic lineup of guests, of which some smoke cigars and some who don't. Either way, we bring you the best content weekly. We are back after a 2 week hiatus. I want to thank you guys for just continually supporting and hitting me up about the show. Everything was fine. I just needed a little mental break because I don't do a lot of mental breaks and all that. So, it was nice to just have a couple weeks to relax after work and not have to worry about show prep because you already know I do a lot of show prep and everything. Um, so yeah, we're gonna get into the show, but first I want to make sure I shout out one of our sponsors, StogieLives.com, which is a social network site just for cigar smokers. You can make an account, do everything that you can do on traditional social media, minus the censorship and all that. So make sure you check out www.stogielives.com. And if you look down in the description, you'll see that there's a link to a Stogie Press article. I'm teaming up with Stogie Press and Ace Prime Cigars to raise money for the people of Jalapa, Nicaragua. That's really their endeavor. I'm just shouting it out every week. So make sure you check that out. And if you feel led, give something and give back, because we all love cigars. It's a cigar producing region. So give back to the people of Jalapa, and it's all good. So we're going to go ahead and get the show started, and we will be on in just a moment. All right, and waiting patiently in a Cigar Hustlers podcast green room, we got our very special guest tonight, Mr. Matt Goose Gossett. He is the marketing, and I'm messing up this because I don't have my notes today, but he works for Flor De Gonzalez Cigars, and we're gonna learn about him, his tenant all throughout the cigar industry, his weight loss journey, and everything. So without further ado, we welcome Mr. Matt Goose Gossett. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Shirtless Mike? A pleasure to be
Nothing
on
much.
with you tonight, brother.
Man, no problem. I appreciate you for coming on. So I almost messed up your job title. So what is your job title since I don't have the notes in front of me?
That's all right. It's technically the sales and marketing director for Flor De Gonzalez Cigars.
Yes.
Is that's it. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, man. That's the technical whatever, So
Yeah. So we're gonna just start from the beginning like I do with all my guests. So tell us about, Matt Goose Gossett. Like, how did you get the name Goose? Just tell us about your early life and all that, and just start from there, and then we'll move into some more recent things.
all right. So I was in my younger days. I was a baseball pitcher in the little pee wee leagues and recreation or whatever, and I'm a left-hander. And I, for whatever reason, I started throwing sidearms. So my coaches would compare me to the New York Yankee great Goose Gossett. So that's actually how my nickname started. And of course, my last name is Gossett, so it's pretty close. So that lasted for quite some time. Then, as I grew up and I found alcohol, Grey Goose just happened to turn into my drink, my liquor of choice, and so the name has just completely stuck to me, and I can't get rid of it if I wanted to. So
Nice. So,
yeah,
so you grew up playing baseball and everything. Did you continue like through high school and everything? And did you go to college and play? Or
I did continue through high school, but I had an unfortunate incident. I was when I was 15, 15, around 15. I got diagnosed with a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. At that time, they thought it was juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Like I had the whole fever, the works, bro. Like it was bad, and that pretty much put the kibosh on my baseball career because I was having trouble, basically moving at that point. So
yeah,
that was kind of the end of that. As sad as it was, because I honestly felt like I could have been somebody. could have done something,
Mm-hmm.
but God has different plans, and life takes you in different ways. So here I am.
Yeah, definitely. Now, did you go to college?
Nope, didn't go to
No.
college. No, right out of. I mean, to be honest with you, straight up, honestly, on the live chat, Herf Zone Live, I'm going to tell you, like, I didn't even technically do the whole graduating high school thing. I left. My parents left Florida to move back to Atlanta, where I'm originally from. And at that time, I chose to stay here. I chose to stay here in Florida. I got a full time job. I eventually went back. I went and tested for my GED, and when I took the pretest for the GED, I literally missed 2 questions. So they were like, "Well, hell, why don't you just go ahead and take the test for the thing?" And then the second time around, I missed 1 question, and they just gave me a high school diploma from Indian River Community College at that time. So I do have a high school diploma, but I did not get to go to college. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was just trying to see, like, like basically when you were growing up, did you, have any idea of what you wanted to eventually get into, or did you just kind of like me, you were working random jobs until you just decided like this is what I want to do and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah. When I was young, my father worked at a television studio, and I knew, like, at 8, 9 years old, I wanted to be a weatherman. Like, that's what I grew up and was hoping to be. I want to stand in front of the green screen and tell you that there's a cold front coming here and it's going to rain over here. But obviously, that didn't pan out. So just like you said, I worked various random jobs. My first job was Chick-fil-A when I was 14. I was in the back washing dishes. My grandfather knew Truett Cathy, the actual owner of Chick-fil-A, and his son Bubba, and got me the job there doing that at 14. And that's from there. I went from there to a movie theater to like you said, random shit, random. So
Yeah,
and then
no, definitely.
and it all worked out, and it all led me to where I am today. So I'm thankful for the experiences. I mean, I've been in retail or sales like now pretty much all of my life. So this is kind of a natural fit for where I am now. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
man.
Yeah, so let's get into a little bit about how you actually like got into cigars. Not necessarily to the industry just yet, but just what was your introduction to cigars, like, and when did you know that this was like your lifestyle?
Well, my growing up, I had a godfather. His name was Harold, and everywhere we went for family functions, he would always have a cigar in his mouth, and never lit, never. I saw him light a cigar one time in my entire life, but he always had a cigar hanging out of his mouth or in his shirt pocket or whatever. And I thought to myself, man, that guy's cool. Like, that guy's like super cool. So just on a whim, we years and years later, I was headed out to a club, to a strip club or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop in a cigar store. Now's when I'm gonna try the cigar. And sure enough, bro, from then on, I've been hooked, and that's been, good lord, that's probably been 15 something years ago now. And I'll
Mm.
never forget my first cigar was an Alec Bradley Max, the big huge.
Oh yeah,
At that
that big
time,
ring gauge.
hell yeah, bro! At that time, it was like the biggest thing out there. It was a 6x60, the Max, and
Yeah,
I thought at that time, I'm stupid in the cigar, and I'm barely in thinking I'm doing something. But the bigger the cigar, the more, the better the value, or the more prestigious you looked, or something like that. So I fell into that when I was younger. So, but
yeah.
that's
I think
what.
I think most of us have. Like when you first get into it, you think you're getting more bang for your buck.
Right, exactly. I mean, at that time, the cigar was maybe $7, if that. So I'm like, oh my god, a six by
Great
sixty
price,
ring. All hell
great
yeah, all this
price range,
tobacco
all
for
that.
$6. I'll take it, and it'll last me all night long. So that was my first venture into cigars, and I've never left. Like, literally never left.
Awesome. And it's like you said, it was like 15. You haven't been smoking much longer than I have. I was started when I was 18. I'm 32 now. I've been smoking for about 13, 14 years. So, you know, not
Yeah.
too much more. I thought you were, 20, 25 years smoking cigars, but it hasn't been as long
Nah,
as I thought.
no, 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 no. I know I only look young, No, no, I didn't get started into it until a little bit later in life, and that's all right. But I guarantee you, I've smoked my fair share of cigars in that time.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. And so, you've done different things in the cigar industry. You're the sales and marketing director for FDG Cigars. You used to do retail. You were telling me that you used to work for Abe at Smoking in Port St. Lucie. Like, tell us about how you got involved with that, and and how you got into doing retail, and we'll talk more about retail since now I'm in retail. So,
There you go. There you go.
I could definitely relate now.
Yeah, man. So I will forever call Abe DeVabna the boss. He's always just boss. So every time I see him, I say, "What's up, boss?" Now he tells me, "What's up, skinny?" But at the time I worked for him, I was nowhere near skinny. But when I started buying my Alec Bradley Max, and then I would buy something from, I think, Altadis called a Helix or whatever. I lived in Port St. Lucie at the time, and I would stop into the Smoke Inn in Port St. Lucie. So I was a patron of his for a long time. One of my many lives took me to Circuit City, where I was the manager of the Circuit City in West Palm Beach, which is where at that time their corporate store was. So when I was down there, when I was on my lunch break or whatever, I would go to that store, and that's where Abe hung out all the time. And I would go in and ask him for recommendations. I was, see him here and there, whatever. So we sort of slowly built that type of a relationship over time, and he was opening a new store. I don't remember which store it was at the time, but he knew I worked at Circuit City, so he would ask me, do you have any deals on TVs or whatever? So I would find him maybe some open box deals or whatever for the big TVs for the lounges or whatever. So we had that type of relationship, and he mentioned to me, well, if you're ever in the need or whatever, come see me, maybe we can work out something. And I thought it was a nice gesture at the time. I didn't think too much of it. So I went on my career with Circuit City. And then after that, I went to Boar's Head, which was the meat and cheese company that Publix sells or whatever. But
oh yeah,
oh yeah, exactly. You can't deny that Boar's Head sub. But I've after that, I kind of got tired of doing that again. I mean, I spent a lot of time training in front of people, and I'm like, you know what? I started thinking about it. I'm like, I think I'm going to go back. I want to talk to Abe again. So I went down. I met with Abe, and he said, I may have this position open in Port St. Lucie coming up soon. Keep your ears open. Keep your communication open or whatever. And sure enough, he needed me, and dare I say, I went running at the time because I thought it was going to be the coolest shit ever, and it pretty much was. It was very cool. Yeah, it was very cool to. The store was doing good. The store was doing good when I took over. It had a kind of an older clientele at the time, and they would do events. There, like Perdomo was the first event that I actually attended there, and I saw. They would do a certain amount of money there, and I thought, man, this is pretty good or whatever. And after a little while of being there and taking over that store and kind of building a newer, more young clientele, we were doing 3 to 4 times the number, that the dollar amount that they were doing that first day that I walked in there. Just in a matter of a year or 2 years. And we were kind of known at that time as the event store. And if you'll ask anybody who's been to that store, been to one of my events, they still talk about them to this day about how incredible the events were. If you ask Nick Perdomo, ask Billy Perdomo when you see them, they'll tell you stories about the Port St. Lucie store. So, and I am forever grateful to Abe for the opportunity. And then continuing, I'll just go ahead and continue and kind of tell you how I got on this side of it now, if you'd like.
Oh yeah.
After like 7 years of doing this for Abe or whatever, you kind of get to a point where there's not a whole lot more you can do for somebody. Like you can't. I couldn't buy the store. I didn't have the financial means to actually buy the store because I would have loved to have had my own store. So I thought, well, maybe. And then I met like doing this, and I'm sure doing what you're doing now, you'll meet all the reps. You'll meet
Oh
all
yeah.
the reps. Yeah, and those guys, I thought, man, those guys have the life, man. They just drive around all day long and go to cigar shops and smoke and sell cigars. Like, holy crap! Like, what a great job that would be now. That would be like the progression from where I was. So I got in. With Abe's help, Abe helped me get into a company who was looking for a full-time sales rep. They paid a salary, which is different than most, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But they were going to pay me a really good salary and pay all my expenses to drive the whole entire state of Florida and sell cigars in Florida for them. And I did that for 2 or 3 months, and that company went kaput. They closed up all North America operations and moved it all back to Russia, where the founders were from. And I'm like, well, damn. So at that point, I was kind of left with, okay, well, do I go beg Abe for my job back, or do I try this other venue and be an independent rep with no salary, whatsoever, and you're kind of doing it all on your own. So I did that for a while, and that's kind of how I got into. I met this wonderful woman in Las Vegas. Dean Parsons from Epic Cigars actually introduced us to each other because I was repping for Dean at that time. And he introduced us in Vegas at my very first IPCPR show. And when we came back a little while later, I went down and had a meeting with her in her office with her father. And she said, yeah, I'd love to have you on board. And the rest is kind of history. So.
Awesome. So, yeah. So, listen, now you're the sales and marketing director and everything. How long you been with FDG Cigars currently? It's been a couple years, right?
FDG, yes, it's like three really. I mean, 3 years is pretty much the thing, and we were just hitting a certain stride, and then of course the big C COVID hit, and it kind of knocked everybody back a little bit. So we haven't been able to get out and about like we would normally do, but it's coming around, and things are, I think, personally, things are getting better. I'm seeing more and more reps out there and doing some events and stuff. So we definitely want to get back into it and hit the ground running again here real soon.
Oh yeah. Now tell us about the line though. Like how many, different blends are there? Just take us through for anybody who's never tried a Flor De Gonzalez cigar, like, take us through that, and and which one would you recommend that somebody start if they walk into a shop and they see that brand? What's the first one that they should pick up?
All right. Well, the company's been around for a little over 25 years now. So they started in Miami. They actually had rollers on Hialeah Drive in Miami, and her father had the business started way back when. He did well, but he wasn't a believer in getting out and marketing and traveling and things like that. So he asked Yadi if she could. Well, he asked his other daughter first, but she didn't smoke cigars and she didn't really care too much about it. So she moved it to Yadi, and Yadi took it and made it exactly what it is today. So he's had blends for days and days and days. I mean, they still sell an original Flor De Gonzalez Gold series, which we still have a very limited stock of cigars that were actually made in Miami from like 1998. We still have some of those in our humidor in the back, just kind of chilling. But you were talking about blends. I mean, we have several different blends. The ones that are on fire, the ones that most people want right now are the 20th anniversary, which is the red and gold band. It comes in a Connecticut and a broadleaf Maduro, and then we also have the blue line, which is the 90 Millas, which is actually obviously 90 miles in Spanish. These are the two most popular blends at the moment. The 90 Millas comes in a Connecticut, it comes in a Habano, and it also comes in a barber pole called the Unidos, which is the marrying of the Cuban and American cultures, basically. And if you notice, like 90 miles, I mean, for those of you who do not know, the original brand that they came up with, and they don't really sell it here where I'm at, by the way. I'm at Black Dog Cigar Box, which is just down US 1 from you a little ways.
Oh, okay.
In Stuart, Florida. And they carry the majority of our line. But if you see here, like this is the original 90 Miles logo. And the reason why is because Yachty actually came here from Cuba. You know, she took that 90-mile trip from Cuba to here. So they call their cigars the 90 miles. And then in Spanish, it's 90 millas. So that's a pretty cool little trivia fact there. But so they have the original 90 miles. They have a 90 miles 1980, which is actually the first cigar that Yachty actually had a hand in blending herself, which is a San Andreas wrapper. It's phenomenal. It smokes phenomenal. Right now they're smoking ridiculously good. They have a Reserva. We have a Reserva Selecta, which is like a Habana 2000 wrapper. We have the blue label that I told you in the three different blends, and then we have these guys here in the Maduro and the Connecticut. So I mean, we also have some various other offshoots that aren't as popular.
Yeah.
In fact, the one that we have the most trouble keeping in stock is this little gem right here, which is the 90 Miles RA Lancero.
Oh, I love Lanceros.
Bro, I got to get you one of these because once you try this Lancero, you're going to be hooked for sure. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. It's ridiculously priced for a Lancero. You know, a lot of companies will try to get a premium for a Lancero, $12, $13. This one's roughly about $8.50, and it'll knock your socks off.
Yeah, that's a great price point. Like, definitely.
Yeah, man. So. Yeah, man, we're talking about doing some new stuff coming up here. Like I said, COVID kind of shut us down. Look at Jeff Kioski, Black Dog Cigar Box. That's the man right there. He's actually a part owner here. He's the guy that allows me to sit here and kind of use this as my office. So shout out to Jeff and Herb and Diane at Black Dog Cigar Box, my home away from home.
Nice.
But yeah, we're trying to come out with a couple of new things now. Like COVID kind of put the kibosh on it, but we're working on the 25th anniversary. This one is a 20th anniversary, and we're working on a 25th anniversary. We've kind of solidified the blend. We got that down, and then we got one other kind of special project that we want to be working on here real soon. So yeah, man, we got some good stuff coming. So be on the lookout.
Nice. Sounds awesome. Yeah. So as a sales and marketing director, like what's the day in the life look like for you?
Well, to be honest with you, Mike, I right now, because of the way the landscape is right now, I actually have another job that I do. Right now, I actually deliver. I do some medical work, medical linens right now, and I do the cigar stuff on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We just had. I think our last event was in the Carolinas. We did an anniversary weekend at Tailored Smoke in the Carolinas, and that was like a 3 or 4 day event.
I saw about that. Yeah, shouts out to Uncle P, man. Shouts out to
Uncle P, and his whole entire staff, and Joe Schmo, man. Those guys are top notch up in the Carolinas. And if you're in the Carolinas, you're doing yourself a disservice if you do not go by and
I actually was up there. I was up there last year visiting my cousins. And unfortunately, one of my cousins passed away recently that I was visiting that time. But yeah, no worries. But yeah, that was my plan. I was like trying to go there, but everybody that was trying to have meet up with me, they was like, "Oh, I want to try this other place out." Next time I told them, I was like, "Look, next time I'm going to Tailored Smoke because." Not now that I've hung out with Preston several other times, I call him Uncle P. There ain't nowhere else I'm gonna fucking go because I already, instead of trying to cater, I'm the guest in your city. Go where I want to fucking go, okay? That's how it is next time. I'm going to Uncle P's.
Yeah, he's. They definitely do it up there. They know how to throw a party, throw events. Some of my most memorable times as a cigar guy are being at his facility, his place. Incredible, just absolutely incredible. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Taylor Smoke, to Joe Schmo, to P, to everybody who works for them, man. They do a great job.
Now, outside of of course you're in the industry, and you do your other job, but outside of working in the cigar industry, like whenever you have a chance to smoke for pleasure, like what are you smoking? What are you drinking? What are you listening to while you're smoking?
Well, come on now. We discussed this pre-show. You're a hip hop head, and I'm a hip hop head as well. So I appreciate the old school hip hop. First and foremost, some of the new stuff is okay. Some of it I can't really stand. I hate the mumble rap.
Yeah, same here.
So that's what I'll be listening to most of the time. Every now and then when I head to the beach, I got a beach playlist, where I listen to some Jimmy Buffett or some Bob Marley and stuff like that to kind of get the beach vibes, and that's kind of what I do for my downtime is I thoroughly enjoy the beach, smoking a cigar on the beach. I mean, I love my Flor De Gonzalez cigars. My favorite is probably the Unidos, the barber pole. But if I'm not smoking that, Padron is probably my favorite. Padron 26 number 2, the torpedo version. That's my jam when I want to spoil myself, like really spoil myself. And as I talked to you earlier about how I got my nickname, I mean I'm happy with a glass of Grey Goose on the rocks with a twisted lime. I'm down. That's it. That's my night, bro. I'm good.
Heck yeah, no Grey Goose if you don't get loose.
Don't loose. Yeah,
some of that tip drill. But yeah, man. So that's cool. Yeah, like so. I listen to all types of different rap. It doesn't matter like what. I most like the old stuff, but I like Southern rap. I like
yes,
East Coast rap, a little bit of Midwest and West Coast and stuff. So like out of every region, what are some of your favorite artists out of each of that region?
Bro,
each of those
listen,
regions.
I
know that's very broad, but for the sake of discussion.
No, that's okay for the sake of discussion. Like I'm literally from Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta, so I kind of feel like, like the people who grew up like in Brooklyn, New York, whatever, they feel like they've got their little pocket or whatever. But I grew up in the A, bro. Like peace up, A town down. Like we that Southern rap thing is kind of in me. I love Ludacris. I love T.I. Those guys. Right now, I actually listen to some Migos, to Offset. I like those guys. They make me laugh. Their trip.
Yeah.
I like Texas rap. I like Slim Thug, Paul Wall. I was huge into Mike Jones. Who?
Mike Holmes.
Mike Holmes. Sure was Mike Holmes. But yeah, I was into that for a while. I figured. And then and of course, you're going to get the Biggie Tupac argument or whatever. I don't have a favorite out of those two. I love them both.
I'm the same way.
I jammed to both of them. I don't want to be an East Coast, West Coast guy. I'm both. I love them both. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And plus, like, if you really look at it, Tupac used to be like in Baltimore and all that, like before he was even on the West Coast. So it's like all that was kind of bullshit because he grew up some on the East Coast.
Yep, for sure. And then now, being in Miami, or being in South Florida, I go to Miami every weekend because I love it in Miami. I absolutely love the culture. I love the music. I hate the traffic, but that's okay. I can get over that because of the beach, the culture, the food. So now I've I go down there and I hang out with a group of people, and they've introduced me to their reggaeton music or whatever. So now I'm into Farouk and all these other this other genre that I never would have, like, what's this gringo doing listening to this music, Bad Bunny and all that kind of stuff. And listen, I don't know what the hell they're saying, but I'll sing it because I got that, I don't know, I got some kind of memory like that, bro. I got some kind of weird memory like that, and I sing the song. I have no idea what I'm saying, but it sounds good, and I love the beat. So,
yeah, I definitely. I'm the same way with with like listening to Spanish. I don't know what the heck they're saying. I might understand a few words here and there, but And there was actually these two ladies who walked in, and they were getting cigars for the one girl's uncle or whatever. And so the one girl, she could understand English and speak English. Her mom couldn't, so she was talking with the uncle, and we were able to make it happen. I sold them a couple of Fuentes
There you
858
go.
naturals, and and they were happy.
There you go. That's all
So
that matters, bro. Make.
language is something that you could overcome that. I know people like in
Mm-hmm.
the cigar industry, like Diani Perez and her husband Alex from Yayabo Cigars, when they
Yabo.
came to
Uh-huh.
when Paradise Cigars was open, they were there at the anniversary party. And Diani, she could speak English, but her husband couldn't. So I was using Google Translate and just sitting there.
All the
We were having
time.
a good
All the
we were
time,
having a
bro.
good conversation, and she would translate if she was there. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what happens to me when I go down to the office or whatever, and Yachty's father is there. The man says hello, and hello and goodbye. Like those are the two words he knows in English. So, so I go down there sometimes when I'm shipping out stuff or whatever, and he's got stories, bro. This man has stories for days and days and days. And and I feel bad for Yachty because she's trying to translate. Google Translate won't keep up with how the man's talking, so I feel bad for Yachty trying to keep up, explaining it to me. So, but I understand Google Translate is your friend. Yes.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then my stepdad, he's from Colombia, so whenever his mom comes from Colombia, like he's the one that translates. She could understand and speak a little, but you know, if he speaks slow, she can understand you. But I don't
Yeah.
speak that slow. But yeah.
Yeah.
So around the time though that I first kind of heard of you, because we haven't officially met, even though we're so close. I was, I didn't have
Right.
a car, my own vehicle, and all that. But you and some other people, you had a Facebook group, Gar Stars. I think you,
Yeah.
you you were the one who created that. Like, how did all
That's
that come
correct.
about?
Yeah.
And I know I don't want to put any drama out there in the air, but just tell the
No. No.
story
No.
about it, whatever you can. And
No. It
because
was really no big deal. I mean, it was a fun thing that I started with a buddy of mine. Um, Way back in my smoke in days, and we were just playing around with it at the time, and I kind of wanted to do like almost like a lifestyle group. Like all these other guys were just showing pictures of cigars, 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 cigars.
yeah,
When I started, I would do interviews with principals of companies. I would if I was with them, I would do interviews with them, or I would contact them via email or text message or whatever. Like, oh my God, Sam, the cigar man, good to
yeah,
see you.
I just seen him.
Speaking of Gar Stars,
Yeah, I know
that man
he's
right there.
somebody I never met, but I follow him on Facebook, and I've seen him from
He,
back in the day.
he is a genuine man right there. He is one of the reasons Gar Stars had a run for a while. So I appreciate Sam. And it's good to see you, brother. But yeah, man, Gar Stars, we started off being more of a lifestyle thing. Like, yeah, okay, smoking a cigar is great. What I want to know is what does Nick Perdomo drive? What does he drink? What kind of watch does he have? What is he like? What if he wasn't smoking Perdomo, what would he smoke? That's the kind of questions that I wanted to answer from him, from Antonio Gomez, from LFD, from other people. We started talking to Casa Cuevas, the Cuevas guys, who are again another phenomenal group of folks. We did interviews with them and Yachty, and we had several get-togethers here where people would fly in from all over, and we had meetups. We had a meetup here at Black Dog, as a matter of fact, that will go down in history as one of the best parties ever, in my opinion. And thanks, Sam. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for stopping by, man. But yeah, and it would still be going today if I had the time to continue to cultivate, but things happen, life, I guess for lack of a better cliche, life happens, and and I know a lot of Facebook groups who had their run, for a year, 2 years or whatever. They were the shit, they were the shit at that time. And that was great. And now it's just kind of evolved. So
Yeah.
Gar,
Well,
see what Sam said right there. Gar Star's
yeah,
Labor Day bash was the bomb. So
Yeah, well, boy, Uncle
yeah,
Larry
man.
said he met Nick Perdomo up here near Pittsburgh last month. Yeah, I'll be meeting him. I'm trying to work on getting him on the show before he comes to our store. I'm working with John Converse on that, but it's either going to be him or his son coming on the show 2 days before the event. So that's just a little piece of information for, it's not set in stone yet, but it's something that I'm working on. So.
I told you before the show started. The Perdomo people are amazing people, man. Every single one of them are amazing. Nick, Janine, NP3, Billy Perdomo, Convert. They're all great people, man. I love them to death. I can't say enough
Oh
about
yeah.
them.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to them. And John Converse came in a couple weeks ago, and he gave me a Perdomo Army hat. So, now that I wear
Nice.
that I wear that sometimes at work. I actually just got a haircut, so I'm not wearing any hats right now. But when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, I would just put a hat on or whatever, and
Hell yeah,
because
of course.
we do the most business of Perdomo in Brevard County. There's a few other shops who have it, but we have like a whole wall dedicated to Perdomo and the humidor. So as Smoke
Well, it's
Rooms
funny. It's
72.
funny. It's funny. It's funny you say that because here, as you can see, Perdomo. I mean, this is. I'm almost positive this is probably one of the only Perdomo lounges in the state of Florida. These guys are technically a Perdomo lounge. I mean, you said you have a whole wall of it. These guys have a whole midsection of their humidor, a whole island section that goes the length of the humidor, dedicated to Perdomo cigars. So they really went all out. I mean, they've got uh, POS type stuff here, Perdomo signs or whatever. I know these guys went to do the factory tour with them down in Nicaragua, and they're really tight here at Black Dog Cigar Box. And Black Dog actually has a lounge exclusive cigar that you can only find here at this lounge. It's amazing. It's great.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, so Jeff says
yeah,
only in the state. He says only Perdomo
uh-huh.
lounge in the state.
But I think there's only Jeff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's only three, maybe in the United States, maybe 3, 4 tops. So this location here at Black Dog is super special. So I enjoy it. Like I said, and it couldn't happen to better people. Jeff and Herb and Diane. Married with Nick and Janine and whatever. What a great combination. What a great store this place is. You got to come down here and see it on your way to Boynton, if I may recommend.
Yeah, either that or I'll just pick like a day where just to come through, just because I like to be generous with my time, so I don't like to be in a rush. So wherever I go, I like to spend a good amount of time for sure.
And you're a very well needed kind of guy. When you demand a presence when you come. So I understand.
Oh yeah. So I'm one of those people. I mean, I don't tire myself out, but I like to be generous with my time and just remain humble. I don't care how many people know who I am. None of that stuff. Like that's all. Like, I could care less about all that. I'm just I'm the guy that represents the average guy who smokes cigars. That's my goal. And I'm not trying, like you read some of these cigar magazines and half the stuff advertises shit that the average guy can't afford. I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, the average guy is your blue collar, working guy. Like, he's he's got money, but he just doesn't, he's not into all that. I mean, cigars itself are the luxury, so that's pretty much why I do what I do. And
yeah, you don't have the $250,000 Hublot?
No, man.
You don't have the Hublot watch? You don't have the two? No. Yeah, me neither.
No, that's shoot.
So I understand completely what you're talking about.
Shoot, that's not even a full house. It just depends on the area. Like, I could probably get something in a real crappy area for that, but I'm gonna need double that. 30-year mortgage and all that. But yeah, so all right, so
yeah, man.
Yeah, so Jeff was asking what I do. So I work at a shop in Merritt Island, Florida, which is just a few minutes from Cocoa Beach. and it's called Smoke Ring 72. They used to be at the Merritt Island Mall, and there was a small little shop. Was there for over 20 something, like 20, 25 years, something like that. And then the mall started dying out, and they decided to move over by Courtney Parkway, which is like not too far from the mall. And they got like a 5,000 square foot lounge. They got a pool table, nice walk-in humidor. We got a cafe. We got beer and wine. We're working on a liquor license, and it's just a really nice spot. And Nick Perdomo is coming September 30th. So, all this time that we've been selling the most Perdomo, no, I can't, Jeff. I can't work shirtless. That's why. I mean, my boss. I've been friends with my boss for a while. He knows my brand, so my brand is shirtless Mike. But everybody that knows me walks in, and they're like, "I didn't recognize you because you're like people from Florida Cigar Club." They'll be like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you. You're not shirtless." So it's like people give me this shit all day about it, but it's all good. But I mean,
that's who you are, bro. That's who you are.
That's just me, man. I'm just me, just straight up like that. So yeah. Before we end out the show, since I didn't have any notes, this was a nice little vibe. Before we end out the show, man, plug anything that you want to. Just where can people find you on social media? Find the brand that you work for and FDG Cigars and all that good stuff.
You pretty much said it, bro. I mean, it's Instagram is at FDG Cigars is the brand page. It's Yachty's page. You can find me at Instagram at Cigar Goose. On Facebook, I'm Cigar Goose as well, or Matt Goose Gossett if you want to actually type it in and look for me. I also have I did this. I actually wrote a book about how to lose weight and without changing your diet.
And we didn't even talk about
actually
that
on Amazon.
See,
bro. See, I told you this was going to vibe.
That's why that's why I have notes. But we'll talk about that though. Tell us about that, like about your weight loss journey. I should have talked about that. That's one thing.
We'll just pick it back up. How long do we have?
As long as we want. I normally keep it at an hour. As long as we want, though. That's the topic I forgot.
Oh, all right.
We want to get that.
That's okay. I won't keep you too long. I don't want to bore anybody, but
no, don't bore us. No, you're fine.
All right. So one day I was getting ready to actually go to a cigar event, host a cigar event, and back when I was 275 pounds at that time, and I'm looking through my closet, before the event. I'm trying to find something to wear. Like I know it's going to be crowded at the time, so I'm like, everything I had was like huge and didn't fit me well or whatever. So I got undressed. I'm walking to the shower or whatever. I know it might be too much information, but I glanced at myself in the mirror and said, "Bro, you're disgusting, like disgusting." And literally from that moment on, like I changed. It was like the light went off in my head, and I knew I had to do something. And as I on my YouTube channel, which is also the No Diet Transformation on YouTube, if you guys want to look it up and like and subscribe, just like you did to Herf Zone Live here. I talk about the journey. I give you guys different tips and tricks and the exercises and the process that actually helped me during my journey. I went from 275 pounds to just recently, before my little getaway last weekend, I was down to 198. 198. So, and I ate everything that I love. My breakfast in the morning right now, a Diet Dr. Pepper and a 2-pack of Pop-Tarts. That's my breakfast in the morning. So you can eat what you want to eat. You got to flip the switch in your mind. And once you do that, you'll find that you just got to, it's just a commitment. That's it. It's just commitment. You got to make the change in your mind. You change your mind, you're going to change your body. And it's really that simple. And I wasn't one of those guys. I didn't want to be a gym rat. I didn't want to stay in the gym for hours upon hours. I didn't have time for that, bro. I had a life. I had things I needed to do. I had work. I had this. So I said, you know what? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician, but I do research. I research the hell out of stuff. And when I started researching, I started looking at these exercises that are going to make the biggest impact on my body. And I want to show you if you could. We were talking about the share button earlier. Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I see it pop up on my end, you'd have to have just another tab open, and then you hit share, and then when I see it pop up, I can on my end, then I can put it on the screen.
See if I can. I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, because you have another tab open with that, and then.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not gonna work that way. But
Sam, the cigar man, said, "Don't let him lie." Matt was a very sexy, fluffy man back in his day.
Fluffy, like Gabriel Iglesias, fluffy. But anyway, I was just going to show you maybe a before and after pic. But seriously though, like I changed. I didn't want to. I researched the exercises that are going to have the most impact on your body. And just to give you a little preview, 3 exercises changed my life. The elliptical machine, not the treadmill. Fuck the treadmill. Treadmill sucks. Okay. Elliptical machine, planks, and you can look it up on the internet. There's 100 different ways to do planks. And then the third one was the seated leg raise, where you basically sit and you do this with your legs and you build up your quads, your thigh muscles. Those 3 exercises changed my life forever. And I still do them to this day. Obviously, I mean, I mix it up now. I do a lot of other different stuff, to try to tone and get rid of other problematic areas. But those 3 exercises, bro, and the mindset to change your body, you got it all day long. And you can find my book on Amazon. I think it's $2.99, $3.99, something like that. It's stupid cheap. I didn't set out to make money. That wasn't the whole point of it, but Amazon makes you put a price on it. So I put a price of $2.99, I think, and it's called The No Diet Transformation. It's a very short read, but it takes you through step by step on what I did, and it's written from my sarcastic ass point of view. So you'll find some humor in it too. And I try to do the same thing with my YouTube channel now. So if you guys got a minute, check it out and see what you think.
Awesome. Yeah, my bad for forgetting about that. That's why I always keep detailed notes. But it's all good.
Yeah. When you told me to plug whatever I want to plug, I'm gonna plug Flor De Gonzalez Cigars, and I'm gonna plug my book or my YouTube channel.
That was my intention to talk about it, but we got it done, so that's all good. So yeah, man. Good. I've actually lost a little weight. I don't even know where I started from, but I weighed myself recently. I'm under 220 now, so I think if I will lose like another 15 pounds, I'll be good. 15 to 20. Because I'm a shorter guy, so I'm already.
Are you doing any workout at all, or no? You're just watching what you eat.
No, I just eat. I don't really watch what I eat either. I just eat a lot. Like my body's used to not overeating how I used to. So yeah. I eat a couple good meals a day, and then I also snack a little bit here and there. And actually, the other day I did overeat, and I felt like complete crap, and I had to sleep like for a couple hours. I just was feeling like shit. And I went over to Palm Bay to Golden Corral, and for breakfast. Deadly. And I felt So I don't necessarily watch what I eat, but I don't overeat like that. So I mean, I eat good and I don't starve myself at all, but my body's now used to not overeating, so like I feel like sick if I overeat. So
that's something I'm going to discuss in the next couple of videos is something like portion control. I hate measuring shit, so I'm not going to get into that.
I don't measure it. I just watch. I just don't eat as often, or I just eat, and I run around the shop all day. So it's a 5,000 square foot shop.
Yeah.
So I'm on my feet. So I'm definitely always tired when I get home. Like it's just. Plus I smoke all day long too. From the time I get in the car to go to work to the time I'm going home. Sometimes I'll even smoke at home, but sometimes Sometimes I feel smoked out, but today, I made sure I didn't smoke as much at work, so I could smoke for the show, and I'm good.
Gotcha. Makes perfect sense. Well, listen, I appreciate you having me on tonight. I think
yes, sir. Well. Appreciate you for coming on.
The no script, I think, worked out well for us.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So I do that every once in a while, just because I was like deciding. I was like, well, Matt hit me up. I should have him on the show because he's wanting. He did the work of saying, hey, I could come on, and I knew it was gonna work out good, and it's a good opportunity to. To just chop it up a little bit, and then eventually we'll run into each other. Once I head down south, I'll let you know, and we'll definitely meet up. Now that I'm, back with my own whip instead of sharing a vehicle. So
Damn right, bro. Very good. Well, keep doing
Yes, sir.
keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate it as the regular guys out here, like you said earlier. We
Yes,
appreciate what you
sir.
do, man. Keep it up.
Definitely. And everybody out there that tuned in, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you've never subscribed yet. If you're a first-time viewer, all that good stuff. You know, share the show, tell somebody about it, and I'll let you know when we're not live anymore. So give me 1 second. You guys have a wonderful night.